I'm here today to give you all insight on the psychology of dropouts. In the final stages of high school and the early stages of college, many dropouts hit a wall. What this wall is made out of three different bricks. The consequences of a dropout, the attitude of a dropout, and the future of dropouts. As these dropouts go through the educational system, they hit elementary school, middle school, high school, and then college. In between high school and college, many of these students take on a part-time job. And while participating in a part-time job, they realize towards the end of their high school year, senior year, and the beginning of college that none of the stuff that they learned sophomore year in college, none of the stuff they learned in college or high school add up to what they're doing in the workforce. So they decide to drop out and take it on full time to get more money. But what they don't realize in the long term is that they'll have to pay more bills they didn't know existed. Stuff like medical bills, having a child, or even your car breaking down. And with much of this, with adversity kicking in, it also leads to depression, anxiety, and stuff like this. So they seek drugs to calm their nerves. They also seek to criminal activity to help with the burden of financial debt. And that ultimately can lead them into jail or being incarcerated. All the while that these bricks have been set in place, the first one being consequences. American Journal of Education says students who permanently leave school are more likely to be unemployed, incarcerated, live in poverty, and have health problems. These are statistics, not goals. The dropouts don't wake up every day thinking, oh, I'm satisfied with where I'm at in life. No, they wish they had a second chance. They wish they can go back and fix these things. But ultimately, all the consequences and all the things that they're dealing with lead back to one thing, dropping out of college or high school. But it doesn't stop there. Let me move on to the next brick, which is why. What sets the tone? What sets the attitude? What makes them think that this is the only thing that they have to do? Karen Lapel of College Student Journal states, the importance of future financial success can also influence persistence in higher education. But have we become too comfortable with our paychecks? Are we not wanting enough out of ourselves? The fact is that, like I said before, these students are leaving their education behind to pursue higher paying jobs that they think, or they'll leave with the risk of a chance to obtain a starting position at the bottom of a company to slowly rise their way up. But what they don't realize is if that company lets them go, they lose that job and they might not be able to get another job. Yes, they'll have to work. So say they join a company for 5 years, but if they get dropped from that company, the next company's not just going to pick them up just because they work for this company for 5 years. An education, a degree is a foot in the door. Not always is your work experience, but they both go hand in hand. Lapel also states that the desire for financial success may be so strong that he or she lacks the patience to complete college. Maybe we've become too impatient. I feel like we want things now. We want the success now, but we're not willing to work for it. And that ultimately leads back to what I just stated. They drop out. They want the Louis Vuitton purses. They want the nice the Armani suits. They want the BMW. They want all that, but they're not willing to work hard enough to get it. Which then leads me to my final topic, which is the future of dropouts. Russell Rumberg wrote in a Harvard University Press article that dropouts are also less likely than more educated workers to invest in additional education and training, further limiting their prospects for securing well-paying jobs over their entire working career lives. In life, I feel like if we're too lazy to pursue education now while we're young, when we get older, it's inevitably not going to happen. You're not going to go back. In fact, the percentages are so low, it's like 1 in a million. So, in conclusion, we've been informed that when students are dropping out, it's because they become overwhelmed. They limit their possibilities of their work life, their work, what they can do for as far as work goes, their career wise. They limit their goals. They're not going to be as achievable or almost become impossible to complete. We have learned that they've grown too comfortable with their paychecks and their lifestyle that they don't want to take the risk to get involved in higher education and then have a better life for themselves down the road. They want it now. And then they just, like I said, they're not seeking out they're not thinking about their future. And finally, If they give up now, they'll never start again. And this has been my speech on the psychology of dropouts.